Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Surbhee Singh. I'm a part of very fast-growing organization called Inspire Coaching Systems. We've been in the space of leadership development, various training programs at all levels around skill building, around capability building. We talk about working with, equipping people with the right skill set, the tool set, and at the same time working with their mindsets. As Ericsson's global partner, Ericsson is almost 40 years now in the space of providing coach certification training programs, which equips people who have the genuine desire to work closely with individuals, to enable them to reach their level of potential and brilliance. And in this entire journey, I have heard of beautiful experiences that it has done wonders for them as well. So I represent that community, and I'm sure most of you have either experienced it or a part of this. As you know, speakers, there are more number of speakers who have had that exposure of working with people at that level, very close level. So the endeavor is to explain to you that what is the kind of work we've done in the past few years. Let me start with a small story. So once upon a time, there was a young girl who was in grade 5, and till the time she was in grade 5, she was an exemplary, brilliant student. The grades were excellent, the extracurriculars were wonderful, she was always in the forefront in the dramatics, in the debates, and everyone felt, a lot more can be done with her because there is some perceived definition of that child's potential, which was coming from the school principal, which was coming from the teachers and the parents, of course. And that girl was shifted convent school, which was one of the leading schools in that part of the country, to fulfill certain standards of brilliance where the potential was assessed that the child can reach. And as the story unfolds, the child started having difficulty in adapting to that environment because it was a very different ecosystem that now she was exposed to. From being the bright star, she came into the average C section because how the gradations were done earlier was A section was super brilliant, B is, yes, they're almost there, C, oh, they need some work, and D is, we need a lot of work to get them to reach where they have to reach. And as time passed, there was a dip in confidence. The enthusiasm to start going and showing her brilliance was not there. And she started feeling that, oh, she's a part of the crowd. Till one day, a teacher, her English teacher, started having conversations with her. And she asked her, she said that, what do you think is not working for you? What was working for you earlier? What has changed for you? What is it that you really want? And then a lot of statements started coming up. I don't think so I can fit in here. I don't know, I'm in that league. I don't even know what I want. I just need to know that maybe I have to move from the C section to the A section. It's going to make everyone happy. And when those conversations started happening, change started happening in those smaller aspects, like getting nominated for the next dramatics event, like getting nominated for the next debate event. And there were times when she did brilliantly well, and there were times when she could not. But then the teacher was again there to have those conversations with her. And that girl is standing in front of you and addressing to a gathering of such esteemed speakers, academicians, and people from their brilliant levels of what they have achieved. And if it was not for that one teacher who took that time to have those little conversations, I may not be here. I might have had a different path in my life. So today, I'm a public speaker. I'm a celebrated coach. I am a trainer. It gives me, get a lot of appreciation and recognition in the kind of work I'm doing with communities, with leaders, with organizations. And then at the same time, working in the area which I hold closely. That was those conversations. That changed everything for me. When I got deeper into understanding what coaching is, what people development is after a stellar career in the telecom space, moving to banking for a while, and then coming into this space of people development, working for trainings for leaders, and I got through the structure of coaching, I realized, that was it. That is what my mentor was doing. She was having coaching conversations. And we all are doing those conversations in some way or the other with people around us, with our children, with the stakeholders, with our inner circle, with our outer circle. But the structure is not very well defined for most of us. With the understanding and knowledge of structure and knowing how can actually these conversations penetrate into the belief system, into the value system, and identify, what is my skill level, what is my will level, what is my capability, and what is my potential. Those conversations start becoming very clear. And as I present to you, I call this that coaching is the bridge between different perspectives. When we look at a world of a young learner, the world is the peers, the parents, people outside their regular school curriculum, their parents, grandparents, social media, the principal's vision, the management's vision, and everything that's going to shape who they are as an individual. And when they are bombarded with different perspectives, this is a way of developing people that can blend all the approaches we will be hearing about, because it was very interesting to know what everyone is doing. How can we blend those different approaches and start creating bridges between these perspectives with the end intention that the child should be able to have more clarity, that the child at the tender age of 14, 15, 16 should be able to make wise decisions on where they want to go. And they should be able to own those decisions. They should be able to be attached with their outcome and be ready with a very, very clear, compelling action plan. I was hearing a beautiful talk sometime back where Sadhguru mentioned that schools are not industry houses, that you put a child in at the age of 3 years, and through some assembly line mechanism, when they come out at the age of 16 years, they are very functional. They know how to handle stress. They know how to handle failure. They know how to handle peers. They know how to handle relationships. These transitions take a much more collaborative approach, both from the schools and the parents. It has to be an environment that we can create for the young learners, for them to understand how do they use their cognitive flexibility better? How do they come at their stage of brilliance? And what the potential identified by the outside environment is that how they see themselves? To bring in these layers of clarity, coaching really helps. It's an art in itself that implies choosing in any given situation. It's an approach that is most likely to generate insights and foster progress. If I look at this picture, it's a way of unlocking people's potential to maximize their own performance. The approach is to take them away from a fixed mindset to an elevating mindset, to a growing mindset, to take them away from problems and understand it, work with them for them to be able to design their own solutions. So when a child comes to me and they say, I can't make friends, or I don't know how to work towards my grades, these little conversations start changing the way they are looking at a situation. It changes the way the perspectives stand in front of them. And it's the way with which we start working with their limiting beliefs and enable them to come out of those shells. There has been a lot of studies done in this space by Enneagram University, Enneagram Institute, and they have come up with certain studies which indicate that this is the impact that we have on students when we use a coaching way of teaching them. So it's a blended approach of mentoring, coaching, counseling, and this is what we can see as levels of success. And there was another study mentioning that children born towards the end of 20th century, they end up having, and generations post that, they end up having 5 different careers or more. So I belong to that category. I've already had 4 different career shifts in my life. I do not know what is going to be beyond that. But then how do we get ready for these transitions? We learn again from the environment, but can we start finding those answers from within? Here again, coaching helps. If you start looking at the impact on the mentors, on the educationists, on the teachers, if you're able to bring in this concept of grooming the teachers as growth partners, for them to go through certain better understanding of how to use the coaching methodology to have conversations in class, we can start looking at creating a culture. It's a culture of accountability. It is a culture of where we're bringing in a very, very positive cultural change. And with this, I would like to conclude by saying that Just go back in your own ecosystems, go back in your own environments, and see that what is stopping you or stopping others from achieving what can be achieved, and how best through conversations we can start bringing out those beliefs and changing them into empowering beliefs. Our founder, Dr. Marilyn Atkinson, says, changing the world one conversation at a time. And I did not understand the power of this till I started implementing it. So here, this is my one conversation to all of you, and let's see that how well can the wave ripple and create a bigger ocean where we can reach out to the maximum number of people. So thank you for your valuable time, and thank you for hearing out the whole story. And thank you for your laptop.